All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Mr. Benjamin, and I'm the presidential candidate of the fictional Common Sense People's Party. Now, the two petitioners, His Excellency Peter Obi and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, have made their cases against INEC and Tinubu. And the next stage is for INEC, APC, and Tinubu's lawyers to begin to respond to the cases made against their clients. Atiku closed his case with his last witness focusing on tendering documents to prove that Tinubu was not even qualified to run in the first place, while Peter Obi focused on trying to say, well, he did not win the election. I did. And in that regard, the main issues remain: one, the non-transmission of election results from the polling unit to the IREV using the beavers. That was the basis of the credibility of the election. That was why so much money was invested in the election. That was why the people of Nigeria believed. Even Nigerians in diaspora flew in to this country to vote for that reason. And the INEC chairman kept assuring, as the evidence have shown, he kept assuring that electronic transfer was sacrosanct. And not only are we taking his word for it, even the electoral law stipulates that. Former Senate President Ahmed Lawan said it clearly on camera right there in the Senate, and we have played that video here before. We all saw that. So that is one of the major issues that was not done, and that is why Labour Party is saying we cannot accept the results of this election. And INEC lawyers are going to really struggle. In fact, there is no way they can clear this non-transmission of results issue in their response. Then number two is the vote recovery. Labour Party believes strongly that in almost all the states in the federation, including states that they won, their votes were reduced. The vote INEC announced that they got, they don't believe is the actual vote they got. Now, Obi has brought certified true copies of Forms EC8, duly certified by INEC, that is polling unit results from all the states in Nigeria. And if the figures on these forms are recomputed, even though they didn't get the complete forms from all the states, if the figures of the ones available are recomputed, this point of reduction of votes in states across the nation, notably Lagos, Plateau, Rivers, will easily be proved. And there is no response that INEC lawyers can give that will be strong enough to stand against numbers. Numbers don't lie. Main issue number three is one that emanated during the course of the proceeding, and that is INEC's refusal to tender valuable documents. INEC's refusal to release valuable documents to the Labour Party. INEC have generally conducted themselves poorly anyway, so far, but the refusal to tender documents as important as the state collation sheets for the 36 states, including the FCT, is a very, very big issue that we can't sweep under the carpet. It is enough evidence that their hands are not clean. If you are sure you did the right thing, why you no go release state collation sheets to Labour Party? In fact, that should be the first document you should release. Hiding the state's collation sheet is like refusing to give a university student his transcript. You just told him you have a third class. He said, okay, give me my transcript. You say, no, I can't release that to you. And the guy is seeing it from his course that he's supposed to get a first class. How you think say that kind of guy go agree? And another very major issue, which is the fourth one I want to talk about, is the 18,088 blood result sheets that were revealed by the professor of mathematics from Anambra State, one of the witnesses of Labour Party. We did the calculation here in one of our previous videos that if we have 18,088 blood result sheets, then we are looking at 2,351,481 votes at INEC's disposal to do whatever they want with. And this is just on the average. We used the total number of accredited voters and the total number of polling units, and we got the average number of voters per polling unit. So if you have 18,088 blood polling unit results, and we have 130 voters, an average of 130 voters per polling unit, then you have to do 18,088 times 130. You have over 2.3 million blood votes. Meaning INEC had over 2.3 million votes to mess with. You don't see them. And this is not contestable. The proofs are available and they are apparent. And this also has to do with numbers. And numbers don't lie. So there is no defense that the INEC lawyers can put up here. And another major issue, which is issue number 5 now, is the conflict in IREV figures and the declared national results. And again, the major case here is Rivers State. INEC declared victory for APC's candidate in Rivers State. Conversely, the IREV result showed that it was Labour Party's Peter Obi that won with a landslide. And according to INEC guidelines, if there is a dispute, a conflict between the transmitted result to IREV and the physical result, the transmitted result takes precedence. Festus Okoye, the INEC National Commissioner, has said this many times on air. So wetin remain again? And when I say transmitted result, I mean the one that was transmitted on the day of election, right there from the polling unit, the result that was signed by the whole party agents. Not the one that INEC went to transfer later, where they were transferring human beings, transferring cars and animals, according to Livy Ozoku, the LP council. He said INEC gave them CTCs, true certified true copies of results, and they were seeing animals. They were seeing girls on it doing TikTok. What a shame. The conflict between the IREV results and the results declared as the national results is another very big issue. Very big issue that I know that these lawyers are going to struggle to defend. There is no doubt about that. Then another very, very big issue. This one is purely a constitutional issue, and that is the issue of 25% of the total votes in the FCT. According to section 134, subsection 2B, everybody is already familiar with this part of the constitution. It said for a person to be declared president, he must score 2/3 of 36 states. That is 24 states. And he must score 25% of the total votes cast in the FCT. That is what is stipulated in the Nigerian constitution. And Obasanjo scored 25% in the FCT in both terms. Yar'Adua scored 25% in the FCT. Jonathan scored 25% in the FCT. Why should the case be different now? And another solid fact is that the Supreme Court has previously ruled, upholding that 25% is sacrosanct. Is one of the major issues of this tribunal. And that is one of the issues that INEC, APC, and Tinubu's lawyers are going to struggle to defend. You saw how INEC was trying to delete the FCT presidential result, but Labour Party closed their case before we move to the next stage with their witness, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, the spokesman of Labour Party's Presidential Campaign Council. He wrote a 105-page witness statement citing all the malpractices that took place in the February 25th presidential election, then asking that PO be declared the winner of the election. And while he was being cross-examined by the INEC, APC, and Tinubu's lawyers, they came with their normal intimidation, but he stood his ground, and he actually did very, very well as a star witness. And Atiku closed this case with his witness tendering, of course, documents to show that Tinubu was not even qualified to run in the first place. He tendered the Chicago State University, which Tinubu submitted to INEC, and he pointed out that the gender on that certificate is female. You know, so when you hear some kind things, you go shock. The gender on that certificate, now female be the gender. Hi, now wow. Then he tendered Tinubu's NYSC exemption certificate, and the name on it was Tinubu Bola Adekunle. Hey, wahala too much for this country. Then he went further to tender the proof that he had a dual citizenship. That was the Guinean passport. That in where David Hundeyin exposed. And then when it was time for the cross-examination, Tinubu's lawyer asked a very funny question. He said, the man knows he said this passport wey in tender don't expire. The witness now replied that if the passport expires, it doesn't mean that citizenship has expired. And it is true. Everybody for court they laugh. Say, if this is the kind of defense that these people are trying to bring, then there is no case. So then he went further to ask the witness. He said, are you PDP or APC? The witness said, I am neither PDP nor APC. I am proudly obedient. Oh! Now there the whole court comes scatter say, obedience still follow. The one where they talk for Labour Party never do. They follow cross enter PDP. Go testify against this election. To testify against INEC. They say, hey! Obedience are everywhere. Even in PDP camp, you find them. In Buhari camp, you find them. In Tinubu, everywhere. That is why His Excellency Peter Obi won the presidential election in Aso Rock polling units. Anyway, it is now time for us to look forward to the defense. This is when the main issue begins. This is when you will now see the brilliance of Peter Obi's lawyers. People like Livio Zoku, San, Ikpeazu, San, Ikweto, San, Afuga, San, Jibril Okutepa, San. Now here, now I go come know the man behind the man. Anyway, anyhow way it be, we go continue to dey bring una updates. We dey here. But make we for fit continue to dey bring una updates. I need to enter town. Make I go get some ogbonge political updates wey una go like. Why? Because of una. Now I dey here. So, don't go away.